Hello, and welcome to Building Our Village with Tender Care PPEC. Today we are with Erica from Pediatric Stars PPEC. How are you doing, Erica?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good.
We're super excited to have you on and learn about your center in Pennsylvania.
Thank
Yes,
you. I'm
definitely.
excited to share.
Great. So, Eric, first let's start with what is your background?
So I was born and raised in New York City, but my family is from Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
How'd you get involved in pediatric nursing?
Um, so when I was a little girl, I was 9 years old, and I decided that I wanted to go into nursing. But I wanted to do NICU. And so when I went through school and everything, my first job was NICU. Um, it was okay for a little bit, but I needed more than just little babies. So that I started going into pediatric. Then I did home care. From there, then I did hospital pediatric. So then everything started expanding from there. I worked with special needs children, regular children in different types of settings. So yeah, it's always been my passion to work with kids.
Wow.
I love that.
And how long have you been doing that?
I started in 2009.
Okay.
Wow. So you
Yeah.
got you got 15 years of pediatric experience under your belt.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, can you explain to us how you found out about PPEC centers in Pennsylvania and what made you want to start one?
Well, early on in my career, since I was doing home care, um, I had a lot of experience with special needs children. And then while I was doing home care, I had a job in a residential facility for special needs children. So there they had a PEEP, but it didn't last long. And then I knew that I wanted to do something like that myself. Um, and I never saw anything here in the Lehigh Valley after that. I did like look around Pennsylvania and found that there's other places like in Quakertown and um, Philadelphia and Lancaster, but nothing over here. So back in 2021 during COVID, um, I really started thinking about it and how the families might be affected during that time. So it kind of like motivated me even more to open up a center here in the Lehigh Valley to have the option for the parents because they were going through their difficulties not accepting, nurses into their homes or nurses being afraid to go into anybody's homes. So I thought this would be like a perfect environment for the children, but obviously it's taking a little longer than expected.
I mean, I can tell you from experience with opening our centers that it always takes time, and it always takes a lot longer than it's expected. We went through that in West Palm, going through it in Texas, and currently at the Spring Hill Center. That we're trying to get finished construction, permits, licensing, Medicaid.
Hmm.
Everything always takes a long time. Um, you did have an experience with that. Could you tell us a little bit about your journey as far as getting licensed and stuff like that?
Sure. So here in the state of Pennsylvania, unfortunately, the Department of Health is not very familiar with the PPAC. So the instructions that were given to me were very vague, okay? And they weren't like an initial like outline step by step thing. It's a lot of research that you have to do. You have to go through labor and industry. You have to go through life safety. Then from there, once you pass that inspection, then you have to apply for your license. Through the license, then it goes to the Attorney General's office. Then it has to get approved through there. And then it goes back to the Department of Health. They have to do their inspection. And then once all that happens and everything goes well, then you can get licensed. But it took about 3.5 years to go through that process.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Well, I applaud you for making it through that and getting
Yeah.
licensed, because that is one of the hardest steps in it. You know,
Yeah.
we're going through that in other areas, and to do that by yourself, that takes a lot. And I applaud you because you did a good job in getting through all of that, and then
Thank you.
getting the Medicaid numbers as well. That's always a fun process. So great job.
Thank you.
So in in that all of that, you've got this licensed center now, and you're getting ready to open and take on kids. You know what what made you have the passion to start heading this direction?
Um, well, like you mean like to open the people or
Yeah, yeah. So like, what brought you, like, it's been a journey,
Yeah.
and obviously, most people would have given up. What
yeah.
kept you going through to make it through? You know what I'm saying? Like, it,
Yeah.
when you're by yourself and you're going through this process that is really grueling, and then you get a chance, and you know, it, it you got to have something that keeps you going, or keeps
Yeah.
you saying, "Oh, I'm going to make it through this. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to keep going." What made you through that?
The children.
Yeah,
That ultimately it was the children, because every step that I went through, it was one step closer to getting what I wanted.
right.
And every time I passed that step, it was like, okay, yes, I can do this, but there was times, yes, that I did want to give up. There was
Yeah.
several times that I wanted to give up, but I was just like, I can't. The children need me. The families need me. I know I can do this. It's hard. I know it's going to be hard, but I know I can do this. So I just kept on doing it for them, pretty
That's all.
much.
That's awesome. And we've experienced it firsthand, the difference these centers can make for children and their families. It's not just the child; you can make a difference for the whole family. Being open and having the ability to care for them and give them the nursing care, and then you give mom a chance to go to school. You give
Mm.
mom a chance to go to work or just go grocery shopping.
Right,
Sometimes for them to get that time just to go grocery shopping alone is invaluable, because
right.
there's a place they can know and trust to take care of their child. Obviously, it's not something that's easy. Not everybody can do it, and
Hmm.
it's licensed by the state, and the state now has put you through this process that took 3 years, and it's not something for everybody. So you've had what it takes to take that step, and now knowing you can take care of their child as well. And it's just now spreading the word, and hopefully we can help you do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just wanted to for you to clarify for our viewers, what exactly is a PPEC?
So PPAC is an environment where a parent or guardian can take their special needs child for um they can get like nursing services there. We can pass medicine, give their feedings, they can get all their therapies there, and at the same time they can like socialize with children, they can learn, and it's about getting them prepared for like the real world, because a lot of these children are contained in their home when they're in home care, so having the PPAC gives them the opportunity to receive all their care while being in the real world with other children and other
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Right.
And socialization for these children is huge. And when
Hmm.
you're able to give them that piece of the puzzle where they're not confined to the home, they're not
Hmm.
secluded, they get to go out in the real world and interact with people, even if the child can't interact per se, but they get the interactions from other people.
Hmm.
I had a post the other day that I made, just me talking to one of the kids at one of our centers, and his eyes lit up when I was talking to him. He knew, he remembered me, he knew who I was, and being able to go and talk to him, it touches you, but it also touches them, and to treat them like any other child. And
Right.
when you have the ability to make that difference, and it's not only about the child, and then the family knows that they're getting that love and interaction from others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So, what services do you offer at your PPEC?
So it's pretty much a 3-to-1 ratio. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be the nursing services that they need, uh, passing medicine, giving their feedings. The all the therapists can come into the facility to give them their therapy. Um, I would like to like have them like learn different things to prepare them
Mm-hmm.
for kindergarten. Um, they socialize, toys, going outside.
Yeah, you have a little playground, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good.
That's a thing that a lot of places miss here in Florida. We try to have a playground, but I've seen a lot of pictures of other centers that they don't have that play area for them. And I think getting outside, getting in the sun, getting the
Mhm.
fresh air is so beneficial when you're
Hmm.
you know just going out and experiencing the air and the sun, and getting those things, where they might not do that. And especially, if they're confined to the home, they're not, I mean, you could speak better than me, is a private duty nurse or a home health nurse going to take the child outside?
Not always.
Hmm.
Right.
There's like certain restrictions with that, especially
Yeah.
if a parent is very particular about their child,
Yeah.
and if the nurse is alone with that child, maybe they don't have the ability to take that child out.
Right. So, in one of the other aspects that these centers bring compared to home health is consistency.
Hmm.
This is what I've always said. With the center, you've got the ability for a 3-to-1 ratio, but also for other nurses and people on standby, where in home health or private duty nursing, you're relying on that one nurse to show up that day. And if they
Right.
call out,
True.
typically there's not a backup.
Right.
There's definitely days, and I've heard, from parents and different people that, one of their biggest problems is the consistency of care and
Hmm.
constant turnover. So the thing PPAC centers bring is that consistency.
Yeah.
You're not going to call out. You're not going to not show up. You're not going to, you'll be there. The building's not going anywhere. The center's not going anywhere. You'll be there for the care. And that's one thing that I think, especially in the Pennsylvania area, where PPECs are not as common. In Florida, there's 150 something of them. In Pennsylvania, there's 15. So you're one of 15 in the whole state, which is pretty impressive to get to that point. But then also to get the word out and educate families that the difference these can make it for families, and for the child when they're able to get those therapies all under one roof. It's a game changer. They can get everything in one place. You don't have to take them from place to place for therapy. You don't have to
Right.
shuffle around everywhere. Go to one place, everything's taken care of.
Right. Right. I agree because I have seen that working in home care, the lack of nursing or the lack of support actually,
Hmm.
when a nurse has a question or she just needs to lean on another nurse. At least here in the PPAC, you can actually talk to one another, get somebody else's advice,
Right.
or someone's help, you know. In home care, you don't have that. It's just you and the child. So
So
yeah, I totally see that.
you definitely brought up another great point, is so
Yeah.
not only is the child secluded, the nurse is secluded as well.
Mhm.
So you don't have those life rings to reach out for if you need help. And that's another great point. In centers, you have other people around, you have other disciplines around as well, with the
Mhm.
therapist. And so you're able to bring that whole care to the child, and you're able to collaborate with the therapist, and you're able to
Right.
collaborate with the other people and providers. That way, the child's getting that whole approach, and it brings
Right.
everything together rather than everybody working individually.
Yeah, and I also feel like the nurses can learn from other nurses how to do things, like it's
Right.
important to see, different ways, the way things are being, done. And for a child also, like seeing another child do something, they might learn it faster being with another child than
Yep.
being alone at home, so that's
Oh
another
yeah.
good reason.
And I've seen that personally. Going, with our centers, when you get the children together, they start picking up things from other children.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Most of the time,
Right.
it's good.
Yeah.
But they learn behaviors and they start learning other things. And
Hmm.
they're when you bring an aspect and you have the vision you have of bringing an educational portion to it, so to prepare them for school, you're really providing the whole service. So it's not just the nursing care. You're thinking about the whole child.
Hmm.
In your area, we discussed that in Pennsylvania there's not many. In your area, there's not many. What are most people's options? Is it home health or do they have other options for children?
I think it's just home health, actually.
Yeah,
That's really the only thing, there's other centers maybe like specifically like for autism.
right,
But like for a whole child that, different kids that do have special needs, it would just be home care
right.
because a lot of the school daycares can't like really help them much. They
Yeah,
can't give them their medicine. They can't give them their feeds. They're not trained to do those things. So I understand where the parents are coming from as far as like being very overprotective, as far as, allowing their child to go out of the home.
right.
So, I it's just, I mean, I want to be able to offer this to them. I'm here. I'm
Hmm.
available to give them what they need.
Right.
So,
Well, we'll help you get the word out, and
Yeah.
hopefully, someone sees this podcast and they listen and they hear that these services are in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Um, we our podcasts get different views, but our YouTube channel does have 65,000 followers. So, and they're all throughout the United States. So hopefully
Hmm.
someone sees this and says, "Oh, these are available in my area in Pennsylvania," and you can help them. And as far as the parents, sometimes it's building that trust. Sometimes they
Yeah.
might, you might start them 2 days a week, and the parents say, well, we'll give it a try 2 days a week. They can get some service with you and continue the home health, and then when you're able to provide consistent, great service, it builds trust with the parents as well, and then they'll like, oh, maybe we'll go 3, and then 4,
mhm,
5, you know and then maybe even as you grow the Saturdays and the weekend,
right,
um,
Hmm.
it's all about taking the baby steps. And if there's a family in need um, in Pennsylvania, can you tell us like exactly where you're located and the areas that you can service?
yeah. So I'm located in Bath, Pennsylvania. So I'm near the Lehigh Valley area, Northampton, Carbon County, um, Monroe County. So I'm pretty
Kind of like a
open,
tri-county area
right?
within there. That
And
that
I'm not
and
too far from like Easton or like even like the New Jersey borough. So,
Okay.
mhm.
Now, so Allentown is like the biggest near you, but that whole Lehigh Valley covers. You said it's Easton. There's another
uh,
big town close to you.
Bethlehem.
Okay, that's it, right? And
Yeah.
then there's a couple of children's hospitals around as well.
Yeah. So it's St. Luke's Hospital and Lehigh Valley Hospital.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe we can send this podcast to some of them and they could see.
Yeah.
um, so we talked about that. Can you tell us where people can find you? What's the best way for them to contact you?
So so the website is www.pediatricstars.com, And then I am on Facebook and Instagram as well.
As Pediatric Stars, is it Pediatric Stars PPEC on Facebook and Instagram?
No, it comes up as Pediatric Stars.
Stars, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, you know, if someone was interested in services, they go to your website or they go to your and send you a message. Would that be the best way for them to contact you?
Yeah, or they can call me. They can call
Okay.
me and leave me a message. But yeah, if they go through the website, there's a link there that notifies me, and then I can
Okay.
call them. Hmm.
Perfect. Now, I want to take one step back and tell me, you know, where you see this center going in the future and, you know, what your plans are for the future.
Well, I hope to expand more
Okay.
pediatric stars in the area. Um, I I would like to, maybe like do like a little center, for the younger kids, and then a center for like the middle age kids, and then for the older children. So like they're not all like all together. So
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think it's
Yeah.
important that they they have their socialization, but like they stay with their age groups a little bit. So right
Right.
now, the center that I have is big, but once you put the kids in there, it might not be so big. So, you know,
You know, speaking from experience, I understand that. You know, you you always think you have plenty of room until
yeah,
you got kids, and then
yeah.
the room
And
seems
then
to
all
run
their
out.
equipment and everything in there, it's just,
Yeah,
yeah.
but you know, um, I could say that you do have a beautiful center, and you know, I love the area it's in, and I think that you know, getting the word out and getting some people, you know, all it takes is a couple, and you know, you're on the road to success. And you know, I applaud you for going through this whole process. Like I said earlier, it's not easy because if it was easy, they'd be all over the place. And it takes a
Hmm.
special person. It takes a special heart. And you know, listening to you speak about your experience and wanting to make a difference, you can tell you have the heart for it. And it like I said, it might not be easy, but you know, I could see you succeeding, and I can see it being something that you know expands through Pennsylvania because it's a service that really. I said this before, but it's a game changer when they can get everything in one place and the comprehensive
Mm-hmm.
care and everybody collaborating and everybody working together and the whole holistic approach of you know you work with the doctor helps with the plan of care, then the therapist you know makes their plan of care, and then everybody's working together to make that child's life the best it can.
Hmm. I agree.
Um, Anything we missed that you'd like to add?
Um, no, I think we covered everything.
Yeah. So
Great.
I want to say, you know, stay tuned for the future. There's going to be some, you know, good things coming from you, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that you know, moving forward, you're going to gain some traction in the Pennsylvania area. Um, there's going to be people reaching out, and I can't wait to see you succeed and see your center grow and see you, you know, touch more lives because I think I'm passionate about what these centers do and how they really help families. And seeing more centers grow and the ability to touch more lives beyond Florida is so awesome to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
Hmm.
definitely. I also wanted to just say to our viewers, make sure that you look into what a PPEC is, and if you're interested, and if your child would qualify for one, and also with the home health, if you really like your home health nurse, PPECs can work with them. They can go to the child can go to the PPEC during the day and have the home health at night. So that is just something that I wanted our viewers to think about. But definitely check out Pediatric Stars. And thank you so much, Erica, for being on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And I think I'd like to have you on again in the future if you're open to that.
Yes, of course.
Okay.